Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we have a real treat for you, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors around the world, the United States 1-cent coin from 1967. This little piece of history could be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket right now, and it could be worth more than you'd ever imagine. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, we'll reveal just how much this 1967 1-cent coin could fetch in today's market. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another penny, right? It has the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and the same copper composition we're used to seeing. But trust me, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. While the 1967 1-cent coin was minted in large numbers, it is far from common today, especially in pristine condition or with certain rare features. So, let's take a step back in time and explore why the 1967 1-cent coin is more valuable than you might think. The year 1967 was an important one for the United States, sitting right in the middle of the 1960s. A decade filled with cultural, political, and economic change. The country was facing significant shifts in everything from civil rights to the space race. Yet, despite the turbulent atmosphere, this coin was circulating as part of the everyday lives of Americans. But here's where it gets interesting: though millions of these coins were minted, they didn't all survive in perfect condition, and this is where collectors get excited. Now, let's dive into the specifics of why this 1967 penny could be worth a fortune, especially if you find the right one. The first factor that plays into its value is the rarity of well-preserved coins from this era. Coins that have been circulated for years are often worn down, scratched, or dented. But those rare specimens that escape the wear and tear of daily life? Well, they are highly sought after by collectors and can command a premium price. Even more interesting are the minting errors that can occur during production. The 1967 1-cent coin, like other coins from this era, sometimes experienced these rare errors. These can include double die varieties, where the die used to strike the coin wasn't aligned properly, creating a double image that can be seen in the lettering or the image of Lincoln. Other types of errors might include off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned when it was struck, resulting in a coin with part of the design missing. These errors can make the coin even more unique and valuable. The condition of the coin is key, too. If your 1967 1-cent coin is in mint state, meaning it shows no wear, no scratches, and has retained its original shine, it will be worth significantly more. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher are especially coveted, and the higher the grade, the more value it holds. But here's the thing: finding a coin like this isn't as easy as it sounds. With so many 1967 pennies circulating, you might think that it would be simple to find one in great shape. But that's not the case. A penny that has survived the years without being lost, damaged, or worn down is incredibly rare. This is what makes the 1967 1-cent coin so special, and let's not forget about the unique features of the coin. While the design of the 1967 1-cent coin seems familiar, the historical context and the potential for errors add a layer of intrigue. A coin that is both a symbol of its time and a rare collector's item. That's a combination that is sure to catch the eye of any numismatist or coin enthusiast. Now, you're probably wondering, how much is this little 1-cent coin worth? If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare, error-free or high-grade 1967 pennies in your collection, then you could be sitting on a small fortune. In some cases, the value of these coins has been known to soar to as much as $65,000. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a single penny. So, if you've been holding on to your old coins or just came across a 1967 penny in your pocket change, make sure to take a closer look. That seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money, especially if it's in exceptional condition or has one of those rare minting errors. Don't forget, collectors and dealers are always on the lookout for these hidden treasures. If you think you found one of these rare 1967 pennies, it might be worth getting it professionally appraised. You never know, you could be holding on to something that's worth more than just the face value. Top 2, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or hiding in your pocket right now, the United States 1-cent coin from 1973. At first glance, this penny may look like just another coin, but trust me, there's much more to it than you think. If you're into collecting rare coins or just stumbled upon one of these, you're in for a big surprise. Stick around because by the end of this video, I'll reveal just how much this 1973 penny could be worth today. The 1973 1-cent coin is a fascinating piece of American history. It was minted during the early 1970s, a time when the country was going through major social and economic changes. The coin features the familiar design of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but don't let its classic look fool you. This penny has some interesting features that can make it stand out from other coins of the same year. While the 1973 1-cent coin was minted in large numbers, it's the rare examples that really catch the eye of collectors, especially when they're in great condition or have unique characteristics. One of the key factors that affects the value of any coin is its rarity. The 1973 penny was circulated widely, so finding one in pristine condition can be a challenge. Most of these coins have been through years of circulation, showing signs of wear and tear, which reduces their value. But here's the exciting part. There are still some 1973 pennies out there that are in mint state, meaning they've been preserved in near-perfect condition. Coins that have been kept in excellent shape can fetch much higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated, but it gets even more interesting. The 1973 penny has also been known to have minting errors. These errors are what really make the coin special and valuable. One of the most notable errors is the double die variety, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned. This can result in a double image of certain features, like the lettering or Lincoln's profile, making the coin unique. If you happen to find a 1973 penny with this error, you could be holding on to something very special. Another potential error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned properly when it's being struck, causing part of the design to be missing. These off-center coins are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors, as they're considered a true anomaly. If you have one of these coins, it could be worth much more than the standard 1973 penny, and it's not just the errors that make the 1973 penny stand out, it's also the condition. Coins that have been well preserved, especially those in mint state or graded as MS 65 or higher, are highly prized by collectors. These coins are harder to find and can command premium prices. If you've come across a 1973 penny that looks almost as good as the day it was minted, you're definitely holding on to something special. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could this 1973 penny actually be worth? Well, the answer depends on a few factors, but if you're lucky enough to have a high-grade 1973 penny or one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of $57,000. Yes, you heard that right, $57,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small coin could carry such a massive price tag, but that's the world of rare coins for you. If you're holding a 1973 penny, don't just toss it into a jar or forget about it. Take a closer look. Check for any signs of wear, minting errors, or even just its overall condition. If it's in great shape or has any of those rare errors, it could be worth far more than its face value. Even a modestly well-preserved 1973 penny can be worth a significant amount more than what you might expect. As always, if you think you found something valuable, consider getting the coin professionally appraised. You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. So, take the time to check your coin collection carefully. There are hidden treasures out there waiting to be discovered. Top 3, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1966, a small coin with a fascinating history and, potentially, a jaw-dropping value. At first glance, this 1966 penny may look like any other Lincoln Memorial cent you've seen before. On the obverse, we have the timeless profile of Abraham Lincoln, and on the reverse, the iconic Lincoln Memorial stands proud. But there's more than meets the eye with this coin. The 1966 penny has something special that sets it apart from other pennies minted during the same era, and it all comes down to rarity, condition, and a few unique features that make certain 1966 pennies highly valuable. Now, let's take a moment to think about the year 1966. The United States was in the middle of a decade of cultural change and economic shifts. The country was in the midst of the Vietnam War, the civil rights movement was making waves, and the space race was in full swing. In the world of numismatics, however, 1966 was simply another year of production for the United States Mint, and millions of pennies were minted. These coins were used in daily transactions, making them easy to find for years and years to come. But what makes the 1966 1-cent coin stand out now is its rarity in excellent condition. You see, most of the 1966 pennies that were minted have been heavily circulated. They've passed through countless hands, showing the wear and tear of daily life. Over time, many of these coins have lost their shine, becoming scratched, dented, or tarnished. However, a small number of 1966 pennies have survived in mint state, meaning they've been kept in near-perfect condition without the usual wear and tear. These coins are a goldmine for collectors. So, what makes this penny truly interesting? Minting errors, and we all know that minting errors are what makes certain coins incredibly valuable. The 1966 penny isn't just a regular coin. It has been known to feature some rare die errors and striking flaws that can dramatically increase its value. For example, a double die variety occurs when the coin's design is struck twice by the die, creating a slight, doubling effect on Lincoln's image or the inscriptions. These double die varieties are extremely rare, and if you happen to find one of these 1966 pennies with the error clearly visible, you're holding on to a very special coin. Another potential error to look for is an off-center strike, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during production. This results in part of the design being off the edge of the coin. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors because they're unique and visually striking, and it's not just the errors that make the 1966 penny valuable, it's also the condition. Like any other coin, the better the condition, the higher its value. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher, meaning they have minimal wear and no noticeable damage, are much rarer and are in much higher demand. A 1966 penny that has been kept in pristine condition could easily fetch much more than a penny's worth. So now, let's get to the good part, the value. If you happen to have a 1966 1-cent coin in excellent condition or with one of these rare minting errors, you might be sitting on something worth more than you'd expect. The value of these pennies can reach up to a whopping $67,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $67,000 for a single penny. While most 1966 pennies are worth only their face value, those that have survived in pristine condition or have a unique minting error can fetch an incredible amount of money in the right market. If you have a 1966 penny lying around in your coin jar or collection, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at its condition, and see if you can spot any minting errors. If you think you found a rare variety, consider getting it professionally appraised. It could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 4, we're about to uncover one of those hidden gems, the United States 1-cent coin from 1971. It might look like any other penny, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. This particular penny, if you know where to look, could be worth thousands of dollars. Stick around, because at the end of this video, we'll reveal just how much this 1971 penny could actually be worth today. The year 1971 was an interesting time in American history. The country was in the middle of social changes, political upheaval, and economic shifts. For coins, it was a time of transition. The 1971 1-cent coin, like many pennies, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But while these images are familiar to most of us, there's something about this particular penny that has collectors buzzing with excitement. You see, the value of a coin is determined by several factors, and the 1971 1-cent coin is no exception. The first thing that sets it apart is rarity. While millions of 1971 pennies were minted, not all of them are still in good condition. Over time, these coins have been circulated, which means they've seen their fair share of wear and tear. But here's where it gets interesting: the well-preserved 1971 pennies, especially those in mint state, are becoming harder to find. As fewer coins remain in pristine condition, the ones that do are becoming more and more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the errors that can make the 1971 penny even more valuable. Minting errors are one of the key reasons why certain coins are worth so much more than others. If you happen to have a 1971 penny with a double die error, you're holding on to something special. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin gets misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. If you look closely, you might see the letters or Lincoln's image with a shadow or extra outline. These double die varieties are highly sought after because they're unique and extremely rare. Another error to keep an eye out for is an off-center strike. This occurs when the penny isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be off the edge of the coin. Off-center coins are considered anomalies, and collectors love them because they're different from the standard coins. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin can be, and it's not just the errors that make the 1971 penny so interesting. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher are considered to be in near-perfect condition and are much rarer than coins that have been worn down through years of circulation. A 1971 penny that has been well preserved, with no visible damage or wear, can be worth a lot more than a typical penny. So now, the big question: how much is this 1971 penny worth? If you have one in excellent condition, or perhaps one with a rare minting error like the double die or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A 1971 penny with those rare qualities can be worth as much as $59,000. That's right, $59,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small coin, one that you might have once dismissed, could be worth so much. If you happen to have a 1971 penny in your collection, take a moment to really examine it. Check for any minting errors, and make sure to inspect its condition. If it looks like it's in great shape, or if you spot a rare error, consider getting it professionally appraised. It could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about the age of the coin, it's about its rarity, condition, and any unique features that set it apart. If you're lucky enough to find a 1971 penny in excellent condition or with a minting error, you could be holding on to something truly valuable. Top 5, we're going to talk about the United States 1-cent coin from 1970. It might seem like just another penny, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you're lucky enough to find a 1970 penny in pristine condition or with some rare characteristics, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So stick with me, and by the end of this video, I'll reveal just how much this 1970 penny could be worth. The 1970 penny, like most coins from the era, features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But while it might look like any other penny you've come across, this coin has some intriguing qualities that make it highly desirable for collectors, especially those in search of rare finds. Let's talk about rarity for a moment. The 1970 penny, like most modern coins, was minted in large quantities, so it's not considered particularly rare by default. However, that doesn't mean that every 1970 penny is worth just 1 cent. In fact, many of these pennies have been through years of circulation, which means they've been worn down by constant handling, leaving them with scratches, dents, and other signs of damage. But the true value of this coin lies in the condition of the individual penny. If you happen to have a 1970 penny that has been kept in excellent condition, especially one that's been well preserved or remains uncirculated, you could have a valuable find on your hands. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher, meaning they have minimal to no wear, are much rarer than those that have been through daily use. And these high-grade 1970 pennies are highly sought after by collectors who are looking for coins in the best condition possible. But wait, it gets even better. The 1970 penny is also known for having a few minting errors that can significantly increase its value. One of the most exciting and rare errors to look for is the double die variety. This happens when the die used to strike the coin gets misaligned, causing the design to be slightly doubled, especially in the lettering or the details of Lincoln's profile. This error makes the coin unique and very desirable. If you have a 1970 penny with a doubled die, you could be holding on to something truly rare. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not aligned properly during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to the edge of the coin. Off-center coins are considered anomalies and are much rarer than regular, perfectly struck coins. The more off-center the coin is, the more valuable it can be, as collectors love these quirky, unique pieces. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the value. You may be wondering, how much could this 1970 penny actually be worth? While most of these pennies are worth only their face value, the ones in pristine condition, or with rare errors, can fetch a significant amount of money. In fact, if you have a 1970 penny that is in exceptional shape or has one of these rare minting errors, it could be worth up to $61,000. Yes, that's $61,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a penny, which we all use every day, could have such an extraordinary value. If you think you found a 1970 penny that stands out in terms of its condition or unique features, take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined, so, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1970 penny? The first step is to carefully examine it for any signs of minting errors, like a doubled die or an off-center strike. Then, check the coin's condition. If it's been kept in excellent shape, or even better, if it's uncirculated, you might want to get it professionally graded by a numismatist. A high-grade coin or one with a rare minting error could be worth far more than you would expect. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Sometimes, the smallest coins can hold the greatest value. So, next time you're digging through your pocket change or going through your coin collection, take a second to check if you have a 1970 penny. It might just be the treasure you've been looking for. Top 6, and this video might just blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of the United States 1-cent coin from 1974. This seemingly ordinary penny could actually be a goldmine, and I'm about to show you exactly why. Now, at first glance, the 1974 penny may look like any other coin. On the front, you've got the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, and on the back, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall. But if you think this is just another regular penny, think again. There's something unique about the 1974 1-cent coin that could make it much more valuable than you might expect, and I'm here to explain exactly why. Let's start with the basics. 1974 was a year full of change in America. The country was in the midst of political and economic shifts, and while all of this was happening, the U.S. Mint was busy churning out millions of pennies. But here's the catch: while the Mint was producing large numbers of these pennies, the 1974 coins that survived in exceptional condition have become harder and harder to find. Over time, most of the 1974 pennies were used in daily transactions, so they've been through a lot: scratches, dings, tarnish, and general wear and tear. That's why, if you happen to have a 1974 penny in mint condition, it could be a very valuable find. The rarity of well-preserved 1974 pennies is one reason they're in demand among collectors. But what really sets certain 1974 pennies apart from the rest are the minting errors. Errors like these can turn a coin that's worth just 1 cent into a valuable piece of numismatic history, and the 1974 penny is no exception. One of the most valuable errors to look for is the double die variety. This happens when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. On a normal penny, you'll see a clear image of Lincoln's profile and the details of the memorial. But in a double die coin, you might notice a shadow or extra outline around the image or text. This error is rare and highly desirable for collectors because it creates a coin that's not just ordinary, it's unique, but that's not the only minting error to look for. Another fascinating error that can occur is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the striking process, causing the design to be shifted to one side. This creates a coin with a portion of the design missing or pushed off to the edge. Off-center coins are highly collectible because they're unusual and one-of-a-kind, making them a standout piece in any collection. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, the value. You might be wondering, how much could a 1974 penny actually be worth? Most 1974 pennies are worth only their face value, but if you're lucky enough to have one in pristine condition or one with a minting error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a serious payday. A well-preserved 1974 penny with one of these errors could be worth as much as $58,000. Yes, that's right, $58,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny could be worth so much, but that's the magic of coin collecting. The rarity of a well-preserved coin, along with the uniqueness of minting errors, can make certain pennies worth a small fortune. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1974 penny? First, take a close look at the coin's condition. If it's been well kept and is in near perfect shape, it could already be more valuable than you thought. Next, examine the coin carefully for any minting errors. Look for signs of doubling on the design or an off-center strike. If you spot any of these unique features, you may have just discovered a rare treasure. If you do find a 1974 penny with one of these features, consider getting it professionally graded. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher are the most valuable, and a professional grading service can help you determine the exact value of your coin. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or digging through some old change, don't just toss aside a 1974 penny. Take a moment to really inspect it. You might have a rare coin in your hands, one that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 7, and last coin, it might just be your lucky day, because we're diving into a particularly special coin that could be hiding in plain sight, the 1976 United States 1-cent coin. This coin might seem like just another regular penny, but trust me, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye, and I'm about to tell you why. The 1976 penny was minted during a very unique year for the United States. As the country celebrated its bicentennial anniversary, there was a wave of patriotic pride sweeping the nation. But while many people were focused on the celebrations, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of pennies, many of which were distributed across the country. However, what you might not know is that some of these 1976 pennies could be worth far more than their face value. If you happen to have the right one. The first thing to understand about this penny is that it's not exactly rare in terms of its production numbers. The U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies in 1976 to meet the country's demand for coins. So at first glance, you might assume that these pennies are worth just 1 cent, and most of them are. However, the real value of a 1976 penny comes down to its condition and any potential minting errors. Now, let's talk about rarity. Coins that were widely circulated tend to show signs of wear and tear over time. The 1976 pennies were no exception. Most of them were passed around, spent, and eventually ended up damaged or worn. If you're lucky enough to find a 1976 penny in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. Coins that have been well preserved or remain uncirculated are much rarer than you might think, and for collectors, that makes them highly sought after. But what really sets the 1976 penny apart from the rest are the errors that can occur during the minting process. Minting errors are what make some coins much more valuable than others, and the 1976 penny has a few interesting possibilities when it comes to these anomalies. One of the most exciting errors to look for is the double die variety. This happens when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned, causing the design to be imprinted twice on the coin. If you closely examine the details on your 1976 penny, particularly the text or Lincoln's features, you might notice that the image appears doubled or has a faint shadow effect. This is a very rare minting error and can make the coin worth significantly more than just a penny. Another type of error to look for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. Off-center coins are highly collectible because they're unique and unlike any standard, perfectly struck coin. The more extreme the off-center error, the more valuable the coin can be, as collectors often prize these quirky, one-of-a-kind pieces. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. While most 1976 pennies are worth their face value, there are some that can fetch a small fortune. If you happen to find a 1976 penny in exceptional condition, or better yet, one with a minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, it could be worth a lot more. In fact, some of these rare pennies can be worth as much as $56,000. That's right, $56,000 for a single penny. It's mind-blowing, right? Just imagine coming across a penny in your collection or in your change, and realizing that it's worth thousands of dollars because of its rarity or minting errors. It's like finding a hidden treasure in your own pocket. So, how do you know if you've got one of these rare 1976 pennies? First, inspect the condition of the coin. If it's in uncirculated or near perfect shape, it could already be more valuable than you think. Second, look for any signs of minting errors. Carefully check for a double die effect or off-center strike. If you spot any of these, it might be time to get the coin professionally graded by a numismatist to determine its exact value. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, the smallest details can make a huge difference. What seems like an ordinary penny might actually be worth a small fortune, and it's up to you to spot those rare and unique characteristics that can make a coin worth thousands. If you've enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss another exciting discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting! Who knows, your next treasure might be just one penny away.